I am honored to be with Rogerio Salvatico. He is the industrial manager at Engemet in Sao Paolo, Brazil. Welcome to the show, Rogerio.
Hi Noah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is great. I met Rogerio a few years ago. We sold him an Index MS42 from Spain,
Mhm.
and it was a great opportunity to get to know him. And yeah, this is fantastic to catch up and take this season to Brazil. So, first of all, I just want to get a little bit of background on you, Rogerio, and then want to learn about your company, Engemet, and then figure out what's up with Brazil. I mean, it's a huge place. It's a bit of a mysterious place, I think. I think most people really don't know about it, at least in the United States. So, first, in about 60 seconds, give me your background. When did you get into machining?
So I got in machining through the partnership program at my school. I started machining parts and a CNC machine from United States. It was a Haas machine SL10.
Uh huh.
And it was a love at the first sight. I always like the cars. I always like technology. When you had these two together, a CNC machine, and you are machining parts to a car was really nice. So I started there. Then I continued working this company. Is what was a traditional company here in Brazil that supply parts to automotive companies.
And that
And
was that was Mecano Fabril,
yes, Mecano Fabril.
and you guys had a lot of Wickmans there, correct?
Yes, a lot of Wickmans. It was a machine that I learned how to operate it later. We had only 60 machines, Wickman machines.
Only 60.
Only a lot. It was really nice, really nice.
And it's closed now, correct?
Yes, it's a small company right now. It's continue working, but it's a small company.
Okay. So you started when you were 17 and you were an apprentice, and then and what's the process when you know, to go up in a manufacturing career and a machining career? Did you go to school for engineering?
Yes, yes. As after I started working, then I ended the high school. Then I went to engineering university, and then I got my degree. And then I was working at the company, and it was you have a challenge, you deliver the challenge, and it was working good. And after uh, 8 years, I was invited to take care of the engineering manager of the engineering management of the company.
Okay.
It was a really big challenge for me also.
And when you were in high school, were you taking classes that were related to machining, or was it just like a general um, education and then you were going to go to university afterward for engineering?
I studied together. I went to regular white high school,
Mm-hmm.
and after and in the morning and in the afternoon I went to I specialized high school from the technical program, and
Okay.
I chose to learn mechanical and electronic.
Wow. Okay. And you grew up in Sao Paulo, yes?
Yes.
Is engineering and the machining business, becoming an operator, or getting involved in machining in Brazil, is that a popular uh, track for people, a popular vocation that people want to go after?
Here, where I live, is a city that you have a lot of industry. I cannot say for whole Brazil because Brazil is a huge country. as United States, you do not have the same country everywhere you go. So
That is true.
here we have a traditional industry, and they have a lot of technical schools. So it's a kind of traditional, and that's also easy for us to go to that schools, and there's a lot of opportunities also in the companies,
Hmm.
since you have a lot of automotive makers here in this region of Brazil.
Sure. So what does Engemet do? It's primarily automotive?
Yes, we most of our business is automotive business, so we supply parts to uh, tier one and also tier two
Hmm.
companies. We have parts for cars, also for trucks.
And are you guys exporting most of your parts, or is it for domestic?
Most is domestic,
Hmm.
but we also had opportunity to export parts also to Germany. That was a challenge for us. It's not easy to export parts to them, but
Hmm.
it was opportunity for us, and we are really happy with this challenge and learning.
Sure, sure. Okay, so if it's going to Brazil, what are the car companies it's going to in Brazil?
We have most of the companies that available around the world. You have American companies, European companies, you have Japanese companies, and also Chinese companies here. So we have Ford, GM, Volkswagen,
I see.
Honda, Toyota.
So if you supply parts to a Ford plant in Brazil, are they making cars for Brazil, or are they going to make cars in Brazil to ship to another country?
Most of the cars manufactured here in Brazil stay in Brazil. I can say about 85% of the cars manufactured here is staying here. But Ford, for example, export parts for South America mostly.
Okay, interesting. What are the biggest um, Brazilian companies for machining? I mean, are there Brazilian auto companies or is you there's a huge Brazilian aerospace company,
Yes,
correct?
yes, that's right. Embraer is the third largest airplane manufacturer in the world.
Third largest in the world.
Yes, after only Boeing and Airbus. If you flew in the United States a regional jet, probably you flew in an Embraer airplane.
Really?
Yes.
Like, usually they have, they say the 737 from Boeing. That's the
Yes,
popular one.
but 737 is a little bit bigger. 737 is more than 150. Uh,
So you're talking about
uh,
like the one that's slightly smaller, like when
yes,
you're
the
when you're in the
yes,
plane and there's like one on one side and two on the other side.
no, a little bit bigger, two and two,
Two and
or
two.
two and three. Probably is an Embraer plane is around 100 or a little bit less seats.
Interesting. And are they working with Boeing, Embraer?
Yes, they tried to merge the companies
Okay.
during the previous 2 years. Boeing and Embraer tried to merge the company, and now due to the COVID-19, I think both companies had so much trouble they decided to stop a little bit. It's not easy to merge a company.
I know. Man, Boeing, it's so interesting how they have so many problems, yet
Mhm.
they're still trying to do stuff like that. I mean, I spoke with one of the people I spoke with for this podcast was from the UK, and he said, "Yeah, Boeing is building uh, a factory in the UK," and I'm just like, "That's crazy." Uh,
Mhm.
how much does somebody um, working in the machining business in Brazil make? How, for instance, a machinist. Now I know it's pretty confusing because the currency has gone down. The currency is like 1 Brazilian real to the dollar, or to five
Five
$5.
five Brazilian reais to $1.
Okay,
It
but like
should be 3-1, 4-1. So during this crisis, it's almost to get 6-1. So it
six.
was, yes, yes. But now it's getting better. I
It's a
think,
pity I can't go on vacation right now.
yes, yes. It will be really cheap for you and expensive to me to go to the United States right now.
Oh my
But
god.
this is not easy because you can give a number from the guy that's starting working as a operator, and as soon as he gets senior, the salary is getting better also. But usually, a starter operator make here about $500 per month.
$500 per month. But that $500 is going to go a lot further than $500 a month here. Maybe it's like $1,000 a month there.
Yes, the living cost here is much cheaper than the United States.
Yeah. With the falling currency, has that made people be exporting more from Brazil? Or I'm assuming it's really hard to buy parts from outside of the country.
Right now, with this currency, I think what are the companies is starting to make, and is one thing that our customers are already asking for us is we want to the parts that you would use to import. I want to manufacture here in Brazil. So our
Okay.
customers asking, oh, I used to bring this part from Europe or Mexico or China. They ask, Engemet, could you make this part for us? So we are developing these new parts. For us is really nice because we understand the future. We have
Yeah.
a more deal here in Brazil, but right now the market down a lot.
So
Also,
so basically you guys can't afford to outsource your parts because of the currency. So now to make your stuff domestic, you have to make it there because you're not even going to be able to afford the parts from Europe. Is that what you're
yes,
saying?
yes, yes. That's what our customer is asking for us, and
Very interesting.
it's really nice because for us we are able to grow the national market and also to improve the Brazilian industry. And we are hoping this happen really fast because right now this crisis, our volumes is not as good as it used to be.
Right. Right. So what what's the course of events that happen with COVID-19? Did everything kind of shut down like right away and then start ramping up like in the rest of the world?
Yes, kind of that. I think when I look at the numbers, I think Brazil and United States are quite similar. But for us, in the middle of March, we were doing good. Everything was really nice here.
Mm-hmm.
1 week to another, everything started stopping. April was a nightmare. Everything was closed. Then the volumes for us was not, almost nothing. Now it's getting better, but I think the Brazil, the first semester, we lost 40% of our volumes of vehicles manufactured here in Brazil.
What do you mean the first semester?
The first 6 months.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So
40%.
40% down, the volumes is not easy to.
No. But I mean, it's I feel like that is kind of what happened to a lot of the real high volume people in the United States too.
Mhm.
And now it's getting better.
Yes, it's improving, but we are not sure about the future yet. So it's improving, but people here are not buying cars yet because they can postpone a little bit. So the market is not coming back yet.
Right. What else is big for manufacturing in Brazil? Is there much of a medical market?
Yes, we have a medical market here. We have several companies. We also have dental companies for
Ah.
machining. Another thing that we have a lot here is oil and mining
Hmm.
machining. We have a lot of offshore platforms to pick up the oil from the sea. So we have a lot of machining companies that supply parts to those companies.
Yeah. Um, all right. I don't want you to have to go on a limb too much politically, but I mean, just objectively, is Brazil a good place to start a business and to start a machining company? And is it maybe it's a good place and it's not an easy place? Those may not be the same thing.
It's getting better. It's getting better. You should not be as good as is now. Or you were past a couple of years. We were really excited because the market is getting better. The government was trying to improve the business environment. We hope that this year was supposed to be a year to improve, but after this crisis, it was not
Right.
so good. But the bureaucracy here in Brazil is not easy. It's not
The
easy.
bureaucracy.
Yes, yes. But the market is nice because we manufacture 3 million, around 3 million cars a year. So there's a plenty of market available
Right.
in our industry also.
What if you wanted to start a business and you wanted to borrow money uh, to buy some machines or, you know, get some capital? Is it difficult to borrow money in Brazil?
Yes, it's difficult and also expensive. I heard of a couple of weeks your podcast with
Oh, the guy
a
in
guy from,
England?
yeah, the guy in England. He said there's money available. The interest rate is okay for us. The money is not so available, and the interest rate is getting better. But
The this
it used to be really high. So to invest in a machine, to buy a machine, it was really expensive. And
yeah.
here we have another problem also. When you buy a machine, you have to pay taxes about this investment.
Okay, so
And
my understanding from the machines we've sold to Brazil? You the people have to pay 30% on top of the
yes,
price?
yes, 30% before you manufacture any part on this machine.
Unbelievable.
So it's not easy to
So if you
manufacture
sell
here
a
in
hundred
Brazil.
thousand dollar index, it's 100,000. It's 130,000.
Yes, more or less.
Oh my God! Not including the 30,000 to get it there. Um, but it still makes sense to do that because the to buy a new machine there would be astronomically more.
Yes, yes, and we are investing. Yeah, I said to you the difficulty here, but I also can say that there's plenty of opportunity. So we are investing right now in some to go in the market of the suspension parts,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a market that or our customer manufacture his own part, or they import this part from outside. So there is an opportunity here. So if you know how the market works, you have the focus on the opportunity. We can make a really good call and make some good business here also.
Right, right. But it's a lot of the machining businesses that are there. They've been around for a long time then, because if you're just you know, you, for instance, if you personally wanted to go and start a business yourself, that would be, it's not easy.
It's not easy, but it's possible. But
It is
I think
possible.
I
Okay.
think it's not possible to start a business to supply to automotive market.
Sure, automotive, yeah. But what if somebody wanted to start a dental implant business or something?
Yes, yes, yes. The dental implant, I think, is the most of the companies are really new here.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have around 10 years or maybe 15. So there are companies that invest a lot with Swiss machines here, and they are new. I think that for the traditional industry, traditional machine industry, for automotive or for aircraft companies, you must be a really have some size. You cannot be a smaller company to supply to them.
Sure, sure. I mean, I think it's like that a lot of places, but it it I mean, it definitely sounds like there's quite a bit of a barrier to entry. Um, is this new president better for the manufacturing economy than the past people? I mean, for people out there that don't really know anything, and I'm not going to pretend that I know a lot, but people say that he's like your version of Donald Trump.
Yes, yes. It's
As
not
you
easy
as you
for
as you grin, why?
yeah, it's not easy to a guy that work in the industry as me to say about the politics.
Mm-hmm.
But you said something that we say sometimes that we have a version of Trump here in Brazil. Uh, for some instance, he's better, or his government is better because he is more pro market for pro liberal. So
Say that again.
uh, liberal.
He's more liberal.
Yes, I don't know if the meaning is the same as the United States. So
Is he
there's
more
a guy.
like? Are you saying he's more free markets than
Yes,
the
free
other?
market.
Okay.
Yes, he's more free market than the previous one. So
The
that's
previous one was sort of socialist and protectionist and yeah,
yes. So
and
for the
corrupt.
yes, a lot, unfortunately. So, but
Do yeah, yeah.
I think as Trump says a lot of things that he should not say or think twice before saying.
And now he's got COVID-19, which
Yes.
that adds an interesting wrinkle to it.
Hmm.
Um, Now, for people that don't know much about Brazil, Brazil has, a lot of poverty. It has a lot. It has the sort of segregated communities. You'd call them. They call them favelas. They're
Hmm.
basically a ghetto, and it's a whole nother world in there. Um, are these people? Do you find any of these people that make it out to then get into to working in a shop?
Yes, yes, it is possible. Mainly around here, because we have these apprenticeship schools.
Mm-hmm.
So if he goes to do the high school, go to the apprenticeship school, it's possible to get into a shop, to work in a shop. I can say to you also that's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy as for someone that was born in a better neighborhood,
Right.
but it is possible.
Do
It's
they go to
possible.
school? Do people in favelas have go to schools?
Yes, yes, yes. School here in Brazil is almost every kid goes to school,
Okay.
almost. So I cannot say for the whole country because it's really big, but regional here, São Paulo is not does not look as Brazil look when you look from outside. So we do not have forest here.
Not
Uh,
anymore.
No, no. Here in São Paulo, we have an industrialized city
Yeah.
with a really big city as any big city in the world. We have our financial district also, so it's more like a regular big city in the world
Yeah, it's
than
very cosmopolitan. Yeah.
yes. And the Brazil has several kind of cities around here. So uh, we have some pools, some cities that are pools for industrialized companies. But some areas you have more tourism, some
Hmm.
areas you have agriculture, in some areas here you have only forest and forest.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing about Brazil? Or yeah, I mean, that's a difficult question. What
It's not.
what are a few favorite things? If you had to, or if you had to leave and you had to live in another country, what would you miss about Brazil?
I think here to we meet a lot of people. We like to go out and to have a barbecue, to go with friends and family. So it's something that uh, is not as easy, I think, in other countries. We have a lot of good food here. The food here,
It's
for
really
me at least,
fantastic.
and food here is good and is cheap. So some things that is really nice, and also the culture, the music is really nice to live here. We have problems, but the good part is really nice also.
Yeah, I feel like the music in Brazil, it it's something, it's really something unique. And I remember I was in Argentina, and there was a few Brazilians staying in the hostel, and the Argentinian people were like, "Oh, you gotta go up on the roof and hang out with the Brazilians. They got their guitars. These Brazilians, they're so musical." And um, do are most Brazilians happy living in Brazil, or do a lot of them wish they could go and live somewhere else?
I think you have both here. You have people that are happy to live here and people that want to go to another country as soon as possible. Because sometimes when the country is doing good, everyone's okay. This is the country of the future. Everything will make you make good and
Right.
so on. And but sometimes when you have a crisis and you have everyone want to leave to go to another place, it's not as easy as some other places to make business to work here because we are a country in development.
Right.
So you need everything does not work as good as another place.
Sure. Sure. It's funny. I remember because about 13 years ago, you guys were like, Brazil seemed like it was really up and coming, right?
Hmm.
I went I went to Uruguay, to Punta del Este with my best friend, and when you go to Uruguay, it's like everybody's on vacation. So the people from Argentina go, and the people from Brazil go, and you're on the beach. And at that point, it seemed like the Argentinian people were sort of jealous of the Brazilians at the time. But perhaps that sort of mood, that swagger that the Brazilians had then is worn off a little bit. I don't know. It's a long time ago, I guess.
Uh, Brazil is not an easy country. Like I said, we are the seventh economy in the world. So
Seventh largest.
seventh largest economy in the world. So besides all the problems, we are a country that like we have our industry, we have our financial market, and our financial market is really well developed. Also,
Mm-hmm.
we have our stock exchange market, we have agriculture, we have mining. So we have a lot of different industries. We have a lot of different things working here. So we have also opportunity to work in
Right.
several. If you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be an engineer or administration or stuff like that.
Right. So you have a lot of the ingredients. It's just a matter of them coming together in order
Yes.
to succeed. What is one of the most interesting things you learned in the last 7 days?
Okay, in the last 7 days, it's not easy to say, but I can say in the last month, we have a challenge to move our company. We are moving to a better place, to a new factory,
Mm-hmm.
and to manage that during the COVID-19 crisis is a really thing that we have to learn every day how to deal with that.
Right, because you had a flood.
Yes, our company last year we have a flood, and we are going to a new place that's a lot better as a new factory. So we are improving that. Was something that was planned before COVID-19, but to execute that with the COVID-19 was not easy, but it was an opportunity to learn a lot.
Good answer. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the people of the world before we wrap this up?
Okay, this is a not a easy answer also, but I tried to explain a little bit what is Brazil. Brazil is not the only things that is showed on the screens, on TV screens. Sometimes it's easier to say that Brazil is a forest and a carnival. So we have a lot of
Forest, carnival, women, yeah, steak.
yes,
That's about it.
yes, we do have that, but I think we have also 3 million vehicles manufactured a year here. Like I told you, we have the thirdest largest aircraft manufacturer in the world here in our country. That's as a Brazilian company. So we have a oil industry, mine industry. We have a financial companies also here. So I think Brazil has a lot of opportunity
Mm-hmm.
for making business here, and I think maybe in the future we will be a bigger country than we are right now. We have a lot of opportunity and a lot of possibilities.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rogerio. It's really great to catch up, and yeah, it's fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah.